So, ladies and gentlemen, now we're going to do a stippling of the background on this Winchester. This is the one that had all the pits on it. I got all the rust pits out that were invisible because it was blued. And now I'm going to jewel around the scroll. So how do you do that? Well, first I take a fairly heavy hammer. This is one I made out of a hardened bolt. You get hardened bolts at the Tractor Supply store. Then I took this piece of, let me turn off the air conditioner. Then I took this piece of WKE45 round blank 2-bit 1/8 inch round, and then I just made a point like a needle, and then I rounded it off so that you can't really stick this through your hand, but I want the point to last a long time. So you don't want to make it too sharp because then it'll just break, and you just want to make it rounded on the end so I'm not making my finger bleed. It's not like a needle really. And then it's still on my potter's wheel vise, and normally I'd use magnification, but all I have to do is take the tool, and I'm squeezing it with all 3 fingers, but I take my index finger or my middle finger here and hold the tool with my thumb and index finger, and my middle finger actually touches the steel, and I take the tool about 1/32 of an inch off the steel, and it really works like a jackhammer because there's a spring action when I hold it tight. And then I just stipple around the tool, around the scroll, and it looks like this. And you make small little circles. And I did this for an Italian customer one time, and he never seen anything like it. He thought it was beautiful. And also L.C. Smith did it this way. Unfortunately, Winchester did not use a stipple tool very often. They used a circle dot punch, and it was really a haphazard job cutting the circles in half. I'm not belittling the engraving, but I want the engraving to look nice. And with the stippling, there's more of a contrast between the scroll and the background, and so that it stands out more. So that this gun, remember, is going to be blued. And if you can imagine trying to do a watercolor on a piece of black paper or watercolor paper, you'd be pretty disappointed in the outcome. So you want to be able to see the scroll. So I cut the scroll lightly, then I stipple it, and then I go back over the whole thing again with a heavier and deeper cut. Not so deep a cut as to make it look silly, but deep enough so that it gives pizzazz to the cut. One of the problems, in my opinion, with a lot of engraving is just boring. But by using the square tool properly when I'm engraving, it just makes everything a break cut. And then I bevel everything to the inside, and bingo, you really have something that works. On this gun, the gentleman wants, he has really great looking dogs, these golden retrievers. And I've hunted with them before. They're good dogs, and they're beautiful dogs, and I'm going to put them in gold. And what I want to do is put a fairly large golden retriever on one side and another golden retriever on the other side. I want to make them about the same. Gold needs to be balanced the same on each side. We don't want a little tiny quail on one side and a dog on the other side. And you also have to be aware of your art that the dog and the bird are in perspective. We don't really want a gigantic bird in front of the dog. I don't care It just doesn't, it's just too hard to make it look right. And that's it. And I'm going to stipple it, then I'm going to cut it, then I'm going again deeper and with a break cut, then I'm going to shade it. So I put a lot more effort into the scroll, but afterwards it's well worth it. Thanks.